Class. I hope you guys are doing good today.
Welcome back to Mathematics English class with me, Miss Aisyah, and
Miss Nesha.
okay, today we're going to learn something different than before. That is solving absolute value equations.
Let x equal A. The solution are A and the opposite of A. You can look at that graph, and if we write in algebra form, absolute x equal A, or x equal A or x equal A, where is A greater than or equal to 0.
Okay, there are three steps for solving absolute value equation. First one is we have to isolate the absolute value expression. Second, rewrite the resulting equation as to cases that don't involve absolute values, and last, solve the equation in each of the two cases. And for special case, if the absolute value expression equals 0, there is one solution. And if an equation states that an absolute value is negative, there are no solutions. Okay, next we're going to solve some problems, and this is problem 1. We have these equations, and the easiest way to solve the equation and absolute value is to isolate the absolute value. So in this case, the first thing we have going to do is adding -3 on both sides, and then the 3 can be the 0 on both sides. So we have the equation 0 is equal to absolute value of x subtracted by 1. And then we're going to add +1 on both sides. So we have the solution 1 equals to x.
Hold up everyone, please quiet and pay attention until the class finishes. Okay, thank you. And another problem. A brick company guarantees to fill a contractor's order to within 5% accuracy. A contractor order 1,500 bricks. Write and solve an absolute value equation to find the maximum and minimum number of bricks guaranteed. To find the minimum and maximum number of bricks guaranteed, we can use the following formula. The absolute inequality number of bricks ordered minus number of bricks guaranteed is smaller than or equal to the absolute value of 5% of number of bricks ordered. Let x be the number of bricks guaranteed, and we know number of bricks ordered is 1,500. So the absolute value of 1,500 minus x is smaller than or equal to the absolute value of 5% of 1,500. We can simplifying the equation. It can be the absolute value of 1,500 minus x is smaller than or equal to 75. Recall the equation absolute x equal to A. The solution are A and opposite of A. So this equation, it can be -7, this equation, and we can multiplying a -1 to each side to make x single, to make x in form of 1,500, and then we adding with 1,500 to each side to make x single. So the result is 1,425 is smaller than or equal to x is smaller than or equal to 1,575. Therefore, the brick company guarantees to deliver minimum 1,425 and maximum 1,575. Do you guys any question? No? Okay, we finish our study today.
Okay, now we hope you guys understand how to solve absolute value. So that's the end of our learning. Good job for today, guys. Keep up the spirit and don't forget to keep practicing to improve your skills.
Okay.
Well, since we have run out of time, thank you for today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
See you later.
wabarakatuh.
Bye-bye.
Okay, please don't close the video. I would like to see the beginning of the video because I missed that part. And
Come back to
okay.
mathematics.
I want to see the first 2 minutes once again. First 1 minute. Can you play? No, dari awal aja nggak apa-apa. Oke, dari sini boleh. Ya. Oke, dimajuin lagi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Begitu.
wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, class. I hope you guys are doing good today.
English class with me, Miss Aisyah, and
Miss Nesha.
okay, today we're going to learn something different than before. That is solving absolute value equations.
The equation absolute x equal A, the solution are A and the opposite of A. You can look
Oke,
at
let's
that graph,
pause here.
and if we write in algebra,
Nah, tadi Nisa udah mulai ngomong the solution of bla 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 gitu ya, tapi belum ada tampilan muncul. Tadi jadi makanya Ibu agak miss tuh di bagian sini. So, what did you present on this slide? Yang mau kamu tampilkan di slide ini apa?
itu sedikit materi tentang absolute value equation-nya, Ibu. Tapi waktu Zoom itu sinyalnya agak terkendala, jadinya pas ganti slide tuh agak telat gitu Bu pas direkamnya.
Oke, coba mundur 10 detik lagi. Ibu mau dengar lagi penjelasannya sebentar, 10 detik aja. Oke, stop. Play lagi.
An absolute x equal A, the solution are A and the opposite of A. You can look at that graph, and if we write in algebra form, absolute x equal A, are x equal A or x equal A, where is A greater than or equal to 0.
Okay,
Oke,
there are 3 steps for solving absolute value equation.
oke, stop di sini. Penjelasan untuk slide ini udah selesai ya? Benar nggak?
Iya, betul.
Okay. Did you mention something about the absolute value of x equals 5?
Iya, belum Ibu
Enggak ya?
saya. Ya, enggak.
Ya, jadi pertama, if you want to show something on your slide, make sure you cover that in your explanation. Jadi jangan sampai di skip. Jadi biar apa yang kita lihat itu konsisten dengan apa yang didengar oleh siswa. Ya, kamu munculin di bagian numbers tuh di right di bagian atas kanan ya, situ tapi nggak disebut. And then what happened in the algebra part on the green rectangle? Apakah itu definisinya udah benar? The absolute value of A. Kenapa X equals A or X equals A itu kan sama ya? Apakah itu
Itu
definisinya udah benar atau gimana?
berarti ada yang kurang Bu. Jadi yang harusnya pertama tuh X sama dengan absolut A atau X sama dengan absolut minus A. Kan kalau hasil mutlak dari minus A itu kan A Bu. Jadi hasilnya X min A or X min A.
Okay, did you see the definition from the textbook? Kamu udah cek belum definisinya? Karena Ibu rasa ada yang salah kamu menulis di sini. Jadi, please make sure that there is no mistake in your slides or in your presentation. And also when you explain the absolute value equation, you mentioned about the graph, but you didn't explain the interpretation of the graph. What does it mean? A units to the left of 0 and A units to the right of 0. Itu maksudnya apa?
Itu berarti ada apa jarak dari A ke 0 dan jarak minus A ke 0. Gitu.
Yes, there is actually the interpretation of the absolute value. Itu adalah interpretasi dari nilai absolute, yaitu jarak atau distance, di mana jarak itu nggak mungkin negatif. Benar nggak? Nah, ini penting sebetulnya, tapi kamu tadi ke-skip, nggak di itu ya, nggak diperhatikan. Oke, next. Next, dipercepat. Ibu mau lihat, karena tadi kamu menjelaskan steps by steps. Ada, oke, kita lihat. Nah, use inverse operations to isolate the absolute value expressions. This is step 1 ya. Nah, step 2, rewrite the resulting equation as two cases that don't involve absolute value. 3, solve the equation in each of the two cases. So when you present the procedures or the steps for solving equations, please make sure that when you give an example, please refer to these steps again. Jadi ini tadi step 1, inverse operation itu maksudnya apa. And then step 2 di sini, rewrite the resulting equation as two cases. Cases 1 apa, cases 2 apa, gitu kan ya. And then step 3, solve the equation in each of the two cases. Munculin pada saat kamu kasih contoh, gitu ya. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, let's get back to it again. Jadi di sini kan ada use inverse operation, rewrite the resulting equation, and solve the equation. Jadi semua perhatikan di sini bahwa kita semua menggunakan verb one ya. Use, rewrite, and solve. Ini sudah betul. Oke, next please. Oke, nah ini mungkin nggak ada masalah, tapi maybe it's only about the visualization. Karena kamu bilang kan subtract both sides ya. Subtract both sides with with 3 gitu kan. Benar nggak? Nah, mungkin penulisannya aja jangan seperti ini. Jadi kasih keterangan aja di sebelah kanan. Subtract 3 from both sides. Jadi ditulis aja ya. Jadi kalau pakai simbol gini takutnya malah jadi misinterpretation. Oke. Next please. Lihat yang bagian mathematical solution, kita cari tadi. Oke, tadi Ibu dengar walaupun nggak salah ya, 1500 itu nggak salah, tapi ada cara penyebutan yang lain yang mungkin lebih, apa namanya, biar kamu nggak bingung, bisa juga 1500 kita baca sebagai 1500s. Ya, jadi boleh 1500s, 15 ratusan gitu kan ya. Instead of 1500, mungkin kalau agak lama mikirnya, jadi kamu boleh baca sebagai 1500s and 5% of 1500s. Jadi perhatikan cara membaca numbers and inequalities karena ini banyak diulang-ulang ya. And then tadi Ibu nggak, oke. Nah, tadi kan kamu ada istilah isolate ya, isolate ya. Nah, kalau misalkan itu dipakai di awal, itu dipakai aja terus di apa namanya saat penyelesaian. Maksudnya isolate itu apa? Kalau nggak salah di setelah ini dia ada. Coba lihat. Nah, di sini kamu mau isolate X kan? Betul nggak? Nah, coba kamu lihat ini. Multiplying -1 to each side. Kemudian tadi kalau nggak salah ada kata-kata apa tadi? Ibu nggak catat. Pokoknya intinya kamu mau isolate X and then you have to add 1500s ke masing-masing sini kan. Jadi tidak hanya ke kiri dan kanan, tapi juga ke setiap bagian dari mathematical expression itu kan. Nah, ini juga harus diperhatikan kalimat yang dipakai. Karena ini banyak sekali mathematics formula di sini. Gitu. Do you have any questions, group 1? Ada pertanyaan? Jadi mungkin kalau misalkan 5 menit itu terlalu singkat, ya materinya nggak usah banyak-banyak, nggak apa-apa. Ya, yang penting, ini nanti buat masukan untuk final ya. Yang penting pada saat 5 menit itu, betul-betul konsepnya bisa tersampaikan dengan baik. Oke?
Ibu mau tanya, berarti kalau misalnya ini kan kelebihan, berarti kalau misalnya jelasinnya cuma problemnya aja nggak apa-apa, Bu? Nanti yang pas ngerjain step-stepnya kita kasih materi-materinya gitu, boleh nggak, Bu?
Boleh aja, yang penting boleh. I think that's fine. No problem. Selama apa yang didiskusikan di situ, apa namanya, bisa dipahami ya. Meskipun dia berdiri sendiri, solving problems, tapi kalau ada notasi atau apa itu sudah bisa dipahami semua audiens gitu. Kalau belum ya perlu ada keterangan sedikit mungkin. Oke?
Baik, Bu, terima kasih.
Yeah. Now let's move on to the second group. Adita and Devina. Are you ready? Okay.
Udah terlihat, Ma'am.
Okay, we cannot hear the sound. Maybe you can share the sound first.
Yes, ma'am.
Suaranya tidak terdengar. Di-share dulu soundnya.
Oh iya, oh iya. Hi class, how do you feel today? Is it great? Okay everyone, I hope today is much better than yesterday. I think you don't know us, right? Let us introduce ourselves. My name is Devina Pin, and I'm with my partner for today's class.
Hello everyone, my name is Adita and you can call me Miss Adita.
Okay, in this class, you only me and Miss Adita speaks at a time. So when we are talking, please listen to us. Thank you. Let's start today's lesson. Open your books and turn to page 112. As you can see in the book, what are we gonna learn about? Exactly, the lesson today is solving absolute value equation. There, what is the absolute value? The absolute value is a measure of its distance from zero on the number line, with regard to its sign, whether it's positive or negative. It is denoted by two vertical bars around the number and is typically represented as this. This equation asks what is the absolute of x, where x is the real number. The absolute value function takes any real number as input and returns a non-negative value. Let's say we take the absolute value of negative 3. It means how far negative 3 from 0. Let's draw a line number together. And we get negative 3 here. The negative 3 is 3 away from 0. So the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. How about the absolute value of 3? It's also 3 away from 0. So the absolute value of 3 is 3. So the absolute value is the distance from 0, or in simpler way to think of it, the absolute value always results in positive number. Do you get it, class? Okay,
Now, what is the absolute value of negative 1.5? Correct. The absolute value of negative 1.5 is 1.5. To help you better understand the material of absolute values, we will continue to work on exercise together and will be explained step by step to solving the problems by Miss Adita. Okay, now I will explain to you how to solve question number 1. For number 1, we can see the graph. The solution is already plotted there, and the solution are x equals minus 3 and x equals 3. After that, we must find the midpoint of the solutions. We can find the midpoint from count the distance between the solution and divide it by 2. Because the solution is minus 3 and 3, we can find the distance between 3 and minus 3 is 3 subtracted by minus 3 and is equal to 6. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 3 is going to be the distance between the midpoint and the solutions. Because the distance is 3, we get 3 units from 3. 1, 2, 3. And 3 units from minus 3. 1, 2, 3. And we get the midpoint is 0. Okay, now we already get the solutions, midpoint, and the distance from the solutions and midpoint. So the distance here is going to be something equal to, or we can write it, absolute value of something is equal to 3. If the midpoint is 0, the possible something equal to the distance is the variable, or x. And we can write it, absolute value of x is equal to 3. Okay, does anyone understand? Any question? Okay, if no question, let's move to number 2. Okay, number 2, we can see from the graph, the solutions plotted here are x equals minus 1 and x equals 5. Next is find the distance between the solutions to get the midpoint. We can write the distance is 5 subtracted by minus 1 equals 6. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 3 is the distance from midpoint and solutions. 3 units from 5 is 1, 2, 3 is 2. And 3 units from minus 1, 1, 2, 3 is 2. So the midpoint is 2. Okay, the distance here is going to be something equal to. So we can write it, absolute value of something is equal to 3. If the midpoint is not 0, we must move the midpoint here to 0 by subtracting or add the variable to move the midpoint to 0. Okay, because the midpoint is 2, to get the 0, we can write x subtracted by 2 in absolute value. X subtracted by 2. Okay, and we get the equation is absolute value of x subtracted by 2 equal to 3. Does anyone understand? Any question? Okay, if no question, that's all for class today. Clean up your desk and make sure your desk is tidy before leaving. Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.
Okay, thank you, group 2, with absolute value equation. Gitu ya topiknya ya, Adita and Devina. So I will give some comments. I think after you all this video, it makes sense that in the first video we need to explain a little bit about the graph. Sekarang make sense ya, kalau ternyata absolute value itu ada interpretasinya secara grafik, dan itu tadi yang presenter pertama alangkah lebih baiknya untuk review sedikit ke siswa gitu. Setelah kita semua saksikan presentasi dari grup 2, so it is clear that the absolute value means a distance gitu kan ya. And then my comments is overall I think it's good, but I have one problem when you give two questions, tadi ada dua soal, benar nggak?
Yeah.
Is that correct, Adita and Devina?
Yes, ma'am.
So you give the students two problems. What is missing? Yang lain kira-kira bisa ini nggak, mengikuti tadi nggak? Apa yang kurang ya dari penjelasan tadi? Ada yang kurang nggak? When the teacher present the problems to the students. Did you follow the presentation of this group? Apa yang kurang kira-kira? Coba kamu ulang, lihat ke yang tadi number one problem. Can we go back to the number one problem? Yes. So, what is missing? When the teacher show
Question.
us this. Yes, Devina?
The question, the exercise.
That's correct. Devina ternyata menyadari sendiri ya. So, after you
Yeah.
give two problems, I cannot follow what you're doing. I mean, what you're solving, what you're trying to solve. Karena there is no instruction. Nggak ada instruksi. Di sini kita mau cari apa? Siswa suruh melihat apa? Hanya ada two red dots at -3 and +3 on the number line, tapi there is no instruction. Kita disuruh cari apa ya? Jadi kayak menebak-nebak. Ini mungkin kamu hanya kekurangan one instruction, tapi ini sangat penting banget efeknya. Jadi apa yang udah kamu jelasin dari problem 1 and 2 itu siswa nggak ada yang bisa paham, nggak ada yang bisa follow. Gitu. Karena hanya kurang satu instruction aja. So please be careful and don't make the same mistake again, alright? And also another comment, when you say, do you understand? Tadi kan ke student, I think you mention it twice or maybe more. Tadi kan ya, mungkin coba cari pertanyaan, questions yang lebih baik dari do you understand? Karena itu terkesan seperti lawan bicara kita tuh tidak memahami apa yang kita bicarakan. I think it gives a negative impressions. Ketika kamu nanyain, do you understand kalau kalimatnya. Mungkin yang lebih baik adalah, are you with me? Atau are you following me? Gitu. Or do you have any questions? Gitu aja. Kalau do you understand kayaknya kesannya kayak kita underestimate lawan bicara kita dan kesannya negatif aja impresinya gitu ya. Ya, I think itu aja komennya. Pelafalan mathematical expression-nya sudah cukup baik. Thank you, Group 2. Let's move on to Group
Thank you,
3.
ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
you're
you,
welcome.
ma'am.
Group 3 is Meliana dan Wulansari. Okay, please present your video. Okay, the sound, please. We cannot hear the sound. Share the sound. Share the sound and then start over again from the beginning.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, class. How are you today? I hope you all in a good condition. Well, class, before we start our lesson today, it will be better if we are playing together. Playing start. Okay, finish. Now, let me check the attendance list first. No one is missing, right? Good, thank you. As usual, motivation today is believe in yourself because you can if you think that you can. Okay, today we are going to discuss about solving two-step and multi-step equations. So you this material. Let me introduce. My name is Meliana and you guys can call me Miss Melly. And my partner.
Okay, hello guys. My name is Wulansari. You can call me Miss Wulan.
Before we start the discussion, I want to tell you guys about the classroom rules. Listen to the teacher, raise your hand to speak, always be honest, and always try your best. Next. Now, please open your book at page 96 because I want to explain the exercise. I want to explain the question number 20. The question is, if 3 of x minus 13 is equal to a. Next. So the answer is step 1. Find the value of x. 3x minus 13 is equal to a. 3x minus 13 plus 13 is equal to 8 plus 13. 3x is equal to 21, so x is equal to 7. Step 2. Find the value of x minus 4. X minus 4 is equal to 7 minus 4, so 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. So the answer of x minus 4 is 3. For the next question will be explained by Miss Wulan.
Okay, thank you, Miss Melly. I want to explain the question number 42. The question is, Jennifer is saving money to buy a bike, and then the bike costs $145, and she has $125 saved, and each week she adds $15 to her saving. And the question is, how long will it take her to save enough money for buying the bike? For the solution at the next slide, in here, first, we denote the number of weeks by x. Then we create an equation like this. At the first line is $245 in equal with the $125 plus 15x dollars, and we move the 15x dollar in the left side. It is equal with $245 minus $125. It is equal with $120. And then we divided two sides with $15, and then we get x equal with 8. So Jennifer needed 8 weeks to save her money for buying the bike that she wants. And then, do you have any question for the two questions? Even now, I think you are understand with all we explained. So, well, student, do you enjoy this lesson today? If yeah, it's great, alhamdulillah. That's it for today's discussion. Hopefully, you can learn more about this question and the solution at home. So you can explain to someone or other to solve this question again. So I think enough for today. Before we end this lesson, let's pray together. Praying starts. Okay, finish. Thank you for nice attention. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, let's look at the video once again. I want to see when you solve the first question. Okay, after that, the next slide. Okay. Oh, before
Next.
yang tadi,
Value of
the solution, yes, this one. Yeah. Before I discuss this one, uh recognize that when you say Anes, jadi Anes itu haknya nggak kedengeran ya. Tadi bu denger kamu bacanya Hanes gitu kalau nggak salah. So jadi misalkan memang kurang yakin on how to pronouncing a word, you can check in the dictionary. Ya, ada beberapa kata yang ada hurufnya tapi sebetulnya dia nggak kebaca. Contohnya anes. Anes itu ada haknya tapi haknya nggak kebaca. And let's get back to this problem. 3x minus 13 equals 8 gitu kan ya. What do you do on the second line di sini? Di bawahnya itu kamu ngapain? What did you say? What did you say when you present the solution? Apakah kamu hanya membacakan saja equation-nya atau apa? Halo, halo.
ma'am, boleh diulang?
Boleh, silahkan.
Jadi jadi di line kedua yang step 2 ya, ma'am.
Mhm.
Itu apa? Tadi saya kurang membaca soalnya. Jadi soalnya itu find the value of x minus 4. Jadi step 2-nya kita mencari value dari x minus 4.
Ya, that's not what I mean. Kalau dari step 1 sama step 2 itu jelas. Ya, step 1 itu find the value of x, itu jelas. Step 2 find the value of x minus 4, itu jelas. But we focus on step 1. Di step 1 baris kedua itu kan kamu nambahin 13 kedua sisi. Kedua ruas sisi, bener nggak? Ruas kiri dan ruas kanan. Tadi di-mention nggak pada saat menjelaskan? Ibu soalnya nggak mendengar ya. Kayak misalkan di baris kedua itu kan, we want to eliminate 13 on the left side. So we
Oh,
need
iya,
to add 13 to both sides of the equation. Jadi kita tambahin 13 di kedua ruas kiri, ruas kanan. And then we get 3x equals 21. To get
iya.
x, we need to divide both sides by 3. Nah, itu dijelasin. Ya, we need to divide both sides by 3. So we obtain x equals 7. Nah, prosedur itu dijelasin dengan kalimat matematika yang jelas ya untuk di bagian
Yes,
ini. Ya, and then next please. Soal ceritanya. Let's look at the word problems. Nah, remember when you present a word problem itu kan soal cerita, di mana student must translate the questions into mathematical expressions. Benar nggak? Is that correct?
Oh, ma'am.
Nah, the problem is you don't give enough time to students to read the problems, to understand the problem, and to identify what is known, what is given, and what is being asked. Apa yang diketahui dan apa yang ditanya. Jadi kamu langsung pindah slide. Saran ibu adalah kalau kamu menemukan situasi seperti ini lagi, you present the word problem on the left slide, lalu sebelah kanannya kamu sambil berinteraksi sama siswa. Apa yang diketahui dari soal ini? What can we infer? Atau what mathematical expressions can we write from this word problem? Jadi kita sambil ajak siswa melihat ceritanya tentang apa sih? Jennifer is saving money to buy a bike. The bike costs $245. Nah, ini kalau kita translate ke mathematical expression jadi apa? What does it mean? She has $125 saved, and each week she adds $15 to her saving. Nah, ini tadi belum ada proses di mana siswa mentranslate this problem into mathematical expression. Sehingga kamu langsung tadi ke slide selanjutnya. How long will it take? Yang ditanyakan how long ya? Slide selanjutnya mana? Slide selanjutnya. Next, this one. You give an explanation when X is the number of weeks, but you don't explain how this equation how does this come about, the equation. Ya enggak? Tiba-tiba ada 245 sama dengan 125 tambah 15X.
Oh ya, betul, Ma'am.
Ya, jadi ini kamu yang nyelesain soalnya, bukan siswa yang belajar menyelesaikan soalnya. Jadi ini bukan masalah seberapa baik kamu mempresentasikan materi, tapi ini lebih kepada seberapa baik kamu sebagai guru ya membuat siswa paham akan topik ini gitu. Terus tadi Ibu sempat dengar X equals with 8. Nggak pakai with ya. X equals 8 aja. Nggak pakai 8 with. Atau X is equal to 8. Ya. Nah ini bagus, ada kesimpulannya di akhir. There is a conclusion. Tapi yang kurang adalah given-nya apa, and then yang ditanya tuh biasanya kita nulisnya find. So given itu sama dengan diketahui ya, diketahui apa, tulis, and then ditanya itu kita biasanya menggunakan istilah find. Find titik dua apa yang ditanya. Gitu kan, the number of weeks atau how long gitu kan yang ditanya kan. Ini yang kurang. Padahal sebenarnya kalau di sekolah diajarin ya, tulis dulu diketahui ditanya, benar nggak? Nah ini yang terlewat. Ya, okay, I think that's all for group 3. Thank you for your presentation. Let's move
Thank
on
you,
to
ma'am.
group 4. Yes, Najma and Nadia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Today was so cool, right? So everyone please keep yourself warm and please take your seat and give us your attention. Okay, how are you today? I'm fine, thank you. And you, miss? How about us? I'm really great. How about you, Miss Nadia? Absolutely great. So let me introduce ourselves first. My name is Najma Yati, and you might call me Miss Najma. And my name is Nadia Rizkilia Putri, and everyone can call me Miss Nadia. And from today, we'll be your teacher in this year, and we'll meet every Wednesday on the second period. So we have a rule. In our class, only one speak at the time. So when me or Miss Nadia talking, please listen to us. Okay, let's start our material. Okay, is anyone know we can solve equation by using multiply and dividing? No? Okay, what we're gonna do is use the invert operation to undo the operation on the variable. But we need to remember to keep everything balanced. So whatever we do in one side, we must do in the other side. We'll give you example words. Okay, first we're gonna learn solve the equation using the multiply. Multiplying. So I have a problem that is z divided by 3 equals to minus 9. So what we're gonna do? Since z is divided by 3, we need to multiply both sides with 3 to undo the division. So 3 multiplied by z divided by 3 equals to 3 multiplied by minus 9. So what is 3 divided by 3? 1. 1 multiplied by z equals to z. 3 multiplied by minus 9 equals to minus 27. So we got that z equals to minus 27. But before that, we need to check. Is that our solution is correct or not? By what? By substitute our solution to the original equation. So what is z? Z is minus 27. So minus 27 divided by 3 equals to minus 9. What is minus 27 divided by 3? Minus 9. So minus 9 equals to minus 9. So the both side is equal. That's why our solution 7 is multiplied by 1, we gonna divide it by 7 in both sides. And then 7 divided by 7 what? 1. And then what about 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. Right. And what about 35 divided by 7? 5. Right. Correct. So y is 5. Okay, we need to check our solution is correct or not with substitute 5 in the origin operation. So we put 7 and y is 5 equals 35. What about 7 multiplied by 5? Is 35, right? So 35 equals 35. So our solution is correct. Okay, did everyone understand? Is there anyone who want to ask question? No? Okay, we'll think that everyone is understand, okay? We have some problem that everyone need to finish and we'll give you guys 10 minutes to finish them, and when you finish, please bring your book to us. Okay, does everybody finish? Yes. Okay, please be quiet, okay? So everyone did very well today and we're so proud of you. Okay, you guys really understand the material, and that's exactly what we want. Ring! Oh, that's up. So we run out of time, guys. Yep. So remember to always bring your umbrella on your back school because it's already rainy season, and we don't want everyone to get sick. That is for today. You may go home and next week. Bye.
Okay, thank you Nadia and Najma. Yep. My comments for your group is maybe in the beginning of the teaching tadi disebut kalau ibu nggak salah dengar ya karena suaranya juga agak chopping, terus juga suaranya agak lagging ya. Jadi videonya udah tampil duluan, suaranya belakangan. Yang lain juga notice nggak? Jadi
Iya, Ma'am.
ya, tapi untung masih bisa diikutin. Misalkan kamu nyebutin dua kata, usahakan katanya itu paralel. Misalkan by, multiply, and dividing. Yang satu multiply itu verb one, yang satu dividing itu verb king. Nah itu nggak bisa, jadi harus dibikin paralel. Jadi kalau salah satunya jadi harus dua-duanya noun atau dua-duanya verb gitu. Misalkan by multiplication and division atau by multiplying and dividing gitu ya. Jadi itu harus perhatikan masalah paralel antara kata gitu ya. Terus I think it's interesting when you mention keep everything balanced. Tadi sempat disebut ya. Maybe you can have some illustration like a balance kayak timbangan gitu. Ini hanya saran ibu sih, kalau misalkan kamu mau present materi ini lagi, kamu bisa pakai ilustrasi timbangan. Jadi siswa tuh bisa ngebayangin maksudnya balance itu apa. Jadi kalau satu sisi ditambahin angka, maka sisi lain juga harus ditambah kuantitas yang sama supaya balance. Itu hanya untuk masukan untuk apa namanya selanjutnya. And then when you write Z, tadi ya, Z itu seperti angka 2. Ya, itu juga harus diperhatikan. And also, tadi Ibu juga mendengar by substitute. Jadi harusnya by substituting, jangan lupa verb ing-nya. Okay? Any questions from group 4? I think overall the performance is very good. Walaupun tadi ada lagging antara tampilan visual sama audionya. Any questions? Dari group 4 or maybe from other groups? Okay, thank you group 4. Let's move on to the next group. I will invite group 5, Cory and Siti. Boleh? Di sini atau ngajar? Ngajar. Oh. Itu sampai 11.40 itu. Ya dari mana tuh?
everyone. Welcome to our class that will be teach by me, Korea Maria, and my partner, Steve Ayunyadi, that will be your mathematics teacher.
Oke, bisa digedein nggak suaranya dari sananya? Karena ibu udah sampai 100 kok masih nggak denger ya? Terlalu pelan.
Udah full, Mem.
Oh, Oke, yang lain bisa denger nggak? Sama ya? Terlalu jauh ya, soalnya terlalu pelan ya. Ibu udah sampai 100%. Coba di play lagi.
About a percentages. For information, percentages is a fraction with a special fraction. Then no matter what top number is, but the bottom number is always 100. Or you can simplify like this. This sign called percent sign. This one away compared from this one. Like this. This number got a percent sign after it, so it called 15%. For example, 25%, we can write it 25 over 100, or simplify 1 over 4. And if we want to find the decimal equivalent of a percent, we can divide it by 100, like this one. 25 divided by 100 is 0.25. To solving your problem, you can use proportion like part over whole is percent over 100, like this. About 50% of 20, we can use this proportion to find a value. So let x represent of the part and 20 as whole and 50 as percent. After that, we can do the crossing multiply. X multiply 100 and 20 multiply 50. 100x equal 1000. Find the cross product and multiply by 100. Divide both sides by 100 under the multiply. So the value x equal 10. The conclusion is 50% of 20 is 10. What percent? Percent of 60 is 15. If we use this proportion, we can let x as a percent, because we want to know what percent. So let 15 as a part and 60 as a whole is percent as x and over 100. Since x is multiplied by 60, so we can divide both sides by 60 to under the multiplication. value is x 25. 15 is 25% of 60.
So that's all for our lesson today. Is there anyone want to ask about it? Okay, so it's enough and you guys understand about today's topic.
Okay guys, I hope you guys learn more about percentages because it can be useful in our daily activity. So that's enough for our lesson from me and my partner. See you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you, Corey and Siti. Okay, my comments in the beginning of the teaching. Corey-nya sama Siti-nya mana nih? Belum muncul. Siti ada, Corey mana nih ya? Kok belum muncul di layar
Hadir.
Ibu? Kenapa?
Hadir.
Ini baru kelihatan. So, tadi tuh di awal-awal pada saat kamu refer to a number or a percentage, disebut aja bilangannya, jangan this one, this number, this lagi. Coba deh kamu lihat lagi nanti videonya di awal-awal tuh kamu banyak menggunakan kata this one, this number, this percent gitu. Jadi sebutin angkanya 15% misalkan. Gitu ya. Jadi jangan pakai this aja, tapi sebutin angkanya itu. Terus juga, tadi Ibu sempat notice divide, bukan divide. Pada saat mungkin Siti ya, divide ya, membagi ya, bukan divide ya. And then mungkin masukan Ibu terkait sama konsep. Karena technically tadi sudah banyak apa namanya istilah-istilah matematika yang kamu sebut pada saat kamu solving the problems, find the percentage or find the parts of 50% of 20 tadi ya. Nah, masukan Ibu secara pedagogik ketika kamu ngajar matematik, ketika kamu ngajar konsep ini, kira-kira untuk cari 50% of 20, ada cara lain nggak sih? Caranya apa?
Itu sama dengan kasus kedua.
Ulangi, Siti.
50% itu kan sama aja kayak 1/2. 1/2
Yes.
dikali 20.
Ya. Jadi pakai konsep kalau yang kamu jelaskan itu pakai konsep equivalence. 50% is equivalent to a fraction. Fractionnya adalah half gitu kan. So a half of 20 is 10. Cara lain lagi, kalau tadi mengubah percentage-nya menjadi bentuk fraction. Another way of doing it or of solving it?
A decimal man.
Yes, decimal sama seperti tadi mengubah persen jadi fraction, mengubah persen jadi decimal juga oke. Yang lain?
50 dibagi 2.
Kenapa?
50 dibagi 2 sama aja. 20 dibagi 2.
Dari mana 20 dibagi 2? Ya, jadi pada dasarnya memang sebetulnya percentage itu kan fraction juga kan. 50 out of 100 itu kan sama aja a half kan. So maybe you can have an illustration bahwa 50% itu sebetulnya adalah a half gitu. Soal-soal yang kamu kasih tadi di video ini adalah soal-soal di mana persentasenya itu mudah untuk diubah menjadi ke bentuk pecahan. Jadi, kenapa Ibu perlu menyebutkan ini? Ajarkan siswa untuk bisa punya banyak cara. Kalau persentasenya mudah untuk dibayangkan sebagai bentuk fraction, ya udah selesaikan masalahnya ke dalam bentuk fraction. Kamu bisa lihat satu lingkaran, ini misalkan isinya 20 benda atau 20 apa misalkan ya. Maka setengahnya adalah ya pasti 10-nya kan. Gitu. Nah, kalau misalkan kamu mau menekankan cara yang barusan part of a whole tadi, maka kamu harus munculkan angka-angka yang memang sulit dibayangkan sebagai bentuk fraction. Sehingga kita merasakan, oh iya kita perlu pakai cross multiplication untuk ini. Tadi kan kamu sebut ya, cross multiplication. Karena memang kalau dibayangin ke bentuk pecahan tuh agak sulit gitu angkanya. Jadi mungkin lebih bervariasi, tujuannya adalah agar siswa punya pemahaman yang lebih fleksibel untuk menyelesaikan soal. Karena 50% dari 20 kan gampang ya. Nggak perlu kamu pakai apa namanya cross multiplication, itu malah mempersulit gitu. Kecuali kalau angkanya sulit baru pakai itu. Ya. Ini saran Ibu dari sisi pengajaran matematiknya. Kalau pembahasa Inggrisnya tadi sudah banyak yang keluar dan sudah sesuai, cuman masalahnya terlalu pelan aja suaranya. Jadi Ibu nggak bisa dengar jelas. Ya. Oke, thank you group 5. Kita
Thank
lanjut
you,
ke
Ma'am.
the next group is Inaya and Salwa, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamualaikum. Good morning all. I am Miss Ara with
Me, Miss Awa. Hi everybody, how are you today?
Good. Okay. Do you know what we want to learn today?
What? About percent? Wow, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. More precisely, today we will discuss about increase and decrease percent.
So, let's look at the material and example of equation and solution from today's material. Here is a little material about percent. Percent increase is an amount that has grown and percent decrease is an amount that has been reduced. We have three formula for percent increase and decrease. The first formula is percent change. Percent change is equal to amount increase or decrease divided by original amount, and the quotient is multiplied by 100%.
Next is formula for discounts and markups. Discounts and markups are example of the application of increase and decrease percent in daily activities. Discount means a decrease in the purchase price. So the formula to find the percent discount is equal to the selling price subtracted from the original price, and the difference is divided by original price. Then the quotient is multiplied by 100%. While markup is an increase in sales price, so the formula for finding the percent markup is equal to wholesale cost subtracted from selling price, and the difference is divided by wholesale cost. Then the quotient is multiplied by 100%.
The first example question, find each percent change, tell whether it is percent increase or decrease, 50 to 60. So here I will explain how to solve the problem. We know that the formula for percent change is equal to amount increase divided by original amount, and the quotient is multiplied by 100%. Percent change is equal to 50 subtracted from 60, and the difference divided by 50, and the quotient is multiplied by 100%. So percent change is equal to 10 divided by 50, and the quotient is multiplied by 100%. And the percent change is equal to a fifth multiplied by 100%. So the percent change is equal to 0.2 is multiplied by 100%. So the product is 20%. Then
50 to 60 is an increase, so a change from 50 to 60 is 20% increase. Okay, the next question will be explained by Miss Ara.
Thank you, Miss Awa. Next question is, with the purchase of 10 greeting cards, Eddie received a discount. She paid $26.35 for the cards that would normally have cost $31. What percent discount did Eddie receive? Since this question is about discount, which means that there is a decrease in the purchase price, so we will find the percent decrease that occurs. We know that original price is equal to $31 and selling price is equal to $26.35. Therefore, we can find the percent discount obtained using the formula earlier, which is equal to selling price subtracted from original price, and the difference is divided by original price. Then the question is multiplied by 100%. 26.35 is subtracted from 31. Then the difference is divided by 31. So the question is multiplied by 100. Divided by 31, it multiplied by 100%. Percent discount is equal to 0.15 multiplied by 100%. Then the product is 15%. So the discount received by Eddie is 15%. Okay, has anyone understood at this point?
Does anyone want to ask a question? Nothing? Okay, I don't think I heard anyone want to ask Miss Ara.
Okay, we hope you really understand and can apply today's material in your daily activities.
Okay, that's enough for today's class. I'm Miss Awa with.
I am Miss Ara. Thank you very much and see you in the next class. Bye.
Okay, thank you Inaya and Salwa. Okay, where is Inaya? Where is Salwa? Inaya ada, Salwa mana?
Saya
Oke, ya, kelihatan. So, di awal tadi kamu sempat sebut a little material, benar nggak? Ibu sempat dengar. Nah, itu jangan lagi dipakai ya. Jadi, meskipun yang kamu sampaikan itu hanya sedikit, tapi jangan disebut a little material. Jadi itu nggak penting lah untuk disebut ya pada saat ngajar. I think overall you present very well. Tadi bagus, pengucapannya pun, artikulasi dan pronunciation-nya pun sudah oke. I only have one suggestion. Karena tadi di awal kamu langsung ngasih slide yang isinya tuh konsep ya. Percent increase, percent decrease, and then the formula untuk mencari percent increase and decrease. So, how about if you present the problems first? Jadi kamu present dulu konteks problemnya. Misalkan yang soal discount price tadi, you can present the problem to students. Tapi jangan diselesaikan dulu. Ask them to understand the problem. Kira-kira kalau soalnya kayak gini, how much will she pay? And what is the reduction price? Can we find the percentage of the reduction price? Or can we find the percentage of the discount? Jadi kita ajak siswa untuk memahami konteks dulu masalahnya nih. Baru nanti masuk ke percent decrease. Kalau itu kan berarti ya. Benar nggak? Jadi kalau langsung ke konsepnya, rumusnya, formulanya, kadang-kala kita tuh nggak paham ini terus relevansinya di mana gitu nanti. Ya, I think itu aja sih masukan Ibu. Oh ya, sama satu lagi, when you present the solution tadi, a fifth times 100%, entah kenapa kamu ubah 1/5-nya jadi 0,2, sebetulnya kan ada Bisa aja 1 kali 100 bagi 5 kan?
Iya, Mem.
Nah, kalau misalkan kamu ngajar pakai papan tulis, alangkah baiknya kamu bisa jelasin juga tuh kemungkinan cara menghitungnya nggak harus 1 dibagi 5-nya. Bisa juga 1 kali 100 baru bagi 5. Ya kan?
Iya, Mem.
Jadi ada banyak cara yang bisa dipakai. Ya, gitu. Oke, thank you Group 6.
Yeah, thank you, Ma'am.
Yes,
Atas
you're welcome.
kritiknya.
Now let's welcome Group 7, Meita and Debbie.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everyone, this time we're going to learn about solving for a variable. I hope you can pay attention to this lesson. Okay, first we want to introduce ourselves. My name is Debbie Hermianti.
And my name is Meita Puspitasari.
Okay, in this lesson, there are introductions about this material, steps about solving for a variable, an example, and an exercise. Okay, the introduction about solving for a variable. A formula is an equation that sets a rule for a relationship among quantities. In daily life, there are many formula, such as the formula to find the volume of cubes, the formula to find the speed of a motorcycle, and many more. This time, we are going to learn how to solve a formula for a given variable. For example, in the formula D equals RT, D is isolated. You can rearrange a formula to isolate any variable by using inverse operations. This is called solving for a variable.
And next step, they are step and 1, locate the variable you are asked to solve for in the equation. 2, identify the operation on this variable and the order in which they are applied. 3, use inverse operation to undo operation and isolate the variable. And next, we can example, solve m minus n equals 5 for m. And answer, so we have m minus n in equal 5, so we need to solve for m. Locate m in the equation, and this since n subtracted from m, add n to both sides to undo the subtraction. And this m minus n plus n equals 5 plus n. And we get m is equal to 5 plus n.
Okay, now we move to the exercise. I will read the problem in this exercise. For altitudes up to 36,000 feet, the relationship between temperature and altitude can be described by the formula T equals minus 0.0035 A plus G, where T is the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, A is the altitude in feet, and G is the ground temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Solve this formula for A. Okay, from this problem, who want to try to answer?
Excuse me, Miss.
Okay,
May I
Rahel?
try?
Okay, Rahel, you
May I
can
try?
try to answer. Okay, Rahel.
Thank you, Miss. According to my calculation, the answer is A equals to minus G divided by minus 0.0035. That's my answer, Miss. Thank you, Miss.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Rahel. Let me check your answer.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay, your answer is correct. A equals T minus G divided by minus 0.0035. Now I will explain the solution. First, we write T equals minus 0.0035 A plus G. Look at A in the equation. And we see A is on the right side of this equation. And then in the right side of this equation, minus 0.0035A is added to G. Since G is added from minus 0.0035A, subtract G to both sides to undo the addition. So the left side becomes T minus G, and the right side become minus 0.0035A plus G minus G. Because plus G minus D is 0, so the right sides become minus 0.0035A. And then we see that in the right side, A is multiplied by minus 0.0035. So since A is multiplied by minus 0.0035, divide both sides by minus 0.0035 to undo the multiplication. Okay, so the left side becomes T minus G divided by minus 0.0035, and the right side becomes minus 0.0035 A divided by minus 0.0035. Okay. Because minus 0.0035 divided by minus 0.0035 is 1, so the right sides become A. So we get the formula for A. A equals T minus G divided by minus 0.0035. Okay. So this is the end of our lesson. Okay. Thank you for paying attention to this lesson. See you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Oke, thank you Meita and Debbie. Ini anggotanya 2 apa 3 ya?
Anggotanya 2, Bu. Yang satu
Meita dan
di murid ceritanya.
Oke, jadi Meita dan Debbie aja ya. Oke, tadi Ibu cukup terganggu sama tampilan apa namanya speaker yang nutupin tulisan ya. Pada saat kamu bikin videonya gimana tuh? Memang seperti itu?
Iya.
Nah, jadi kalau kayak gitu jadi nggak bisa maksimal gitu loh orang memahami kamu jelaskan karena banyak sekali yang ketutupan sama tampilan wajah kamu kan di situ. Itu sayang banget satu. Terus kemudian pada saat kamu baca steps tadi kan ada kalimat-kalimat ya, coba tampilin deh. Kalimat-kalimat yang pada saat kamu baca kalimat itu dalam bahasa Inggris yang ini kan ya. Tadi Bu kalau nah stop di situ ketutupan tuh kalimatnya. Nah, locate the variable you are asked to solve for in the equation. Jadi pada saat kamu baca kalimat dalam bahasa Inggris atau dalam bahasa Indonesia juga sama. Pastikan kamu nggak memotong frasanya. Contohnya to solve for in. Nah, to solve for in itu kan nggak ada artinya. Solve for itu kan satu frasa, jadi jangan dipisah. In the equation, in itu bagian dari frasa in the equation. Jadi jangan digabung to solve for in the equation. Ibu nggak tahu tadi pemotongannya di mana, tapi kedengaran bahwa pada saat baca kalimat kamu nggak tahu kapan harus kasih pause, jeda, kapan harus lanjut, kapan nggak boleh dijeda. Kayak solve for itu nggak boleh dijeda, nggak boleh dipisah dua kata itu karena dia satu frasa. Ya, ini adalah pengetahuan untuk bahasa Inggrisnya. Lalu untuk penyebutan angka coba 0.0035. Tadi kamu sebutnya gitu ya. 0.0035 itu berulang terus disebutin. Yang benar apa harusnya?
Harusnya 0.0035, ma'am.
35. Ya, tidak boleh dibaca 35. Harus dibacanya per digit. Ya. Lalu ini sebetulnya kan kalau untuk siswa ini sebetulnya cukup abstrak ya. Jadi intinya what you're doing is manipulating. Jadi itu entah ada nggak di buku istilahnya manipulating the equations. Jadi kamu memindahkan variabel ke sebelah kanan, gitu kan? Ketika kamu cari A-nya, variabel A sendiri di sebelah kiri, yang lain pindahin ke kanan, gitu kan? Nah, mungkin pada saat kamu contoh sebelumnya nih yang M dan N tadi, coba kita lihat. Nah, yang ini juga karena ibu nggak bisa baca ya apa yang kamu tulis ini, mungkin kamu perlu beri penekanan bahwa when you solve M take away n equals 5 for m, it means you will get an equation of m in n. Jadi akan masih ada variabel n-nya di situ. Jadi solusinya bukan berupa angka, tapi solusinya adalah a mathematical expression with another variable. Kan ini kan sebetulnya soalnya agak beda ya sama soal yang sebelum-sebelumnya kan. Jadi perlu diberi penekanan karena memang ini agak berbeda gitu. Mungkin itu for this group. Thank you so much, group 7. Do you have any questions, group 7? Okay, let's welcome group 8, Hasya and Anindya.
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Great. Before we start the lessons, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Hasya Delia. You can call me Miss Hasya. And my partner today. Hi, my name is Anindya Lestari, and you can call me Miss Adit. So, does anyone know what material we will learn today? That's right, we will learn about application of percent. Does anyone know what is application of percent? So, percent can be used in many types of problems and situations. Percentages of percent are used in a wide variety of applications in everyday life. Example, for business, science, and many other fields. To determine percent of number, change the percent to a fraction or decimal and multiply. Remember, the word of means multiply. And then, is there a formula for application of percent, Ms. Hasya? Yes. Formula for application of percent, the first one is percentage formula. The percentage formula is value divided by total value, and the equation is multiplied by 100 or using decimal. For example, 15% of 50 equals to 0.15 multiplied by 50 equals to 7.5. Next is to calculate the percentage of a number. We need to 50% of number equals to x. So p divided by 100 and the equation is multiplied by number is equals to x. The last one is simple interest. Simple interest is principal multiplied by interest rate per year as a decimal, and the product is multiplied by time in years. Now, let's look at the problem we are going to solve. So, the problem is, find the number of years it will take for $1,200 to earn simple interest of $324 at an annual interest rate of 6% per year. Next. For the problem, you can use the simple interest formula. Simple interest equals the principal multiplied by rate, and the product is multiplied by time. In this case, we have $324 for the interest earned, $1,200 for the principal's amount, and 6% or 0.06 as decimals, and D is the number of years. Now, plug these values into the formula and solve for D. $324 is equals to $1,200 multiplied by 0.06, and the product is multiplied by T. And to find T, divide both sides of the equation by $1,200 multiplied by 0.06. So T is $324 divided by
the product of $1,200 multiplied by 0.06. T is $324 divided by $72. So T is 4.5. So it will take approximately 4.5 years for $1,200 to earn $324 in simple interest 6% per year.
So that's all the material that we'll learn for today. Do you guys understand it? Or do you guys have any question for this material today?
I think no question for today, Miss Asia. So thank you guys for listening carefully. You guys have done well today.
Thank you guys. See you next week.
Thank you. Stay happy and healthy. Bye.
Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you, Hasya and siapa sih? Maaf, Anindya. Bener ya, Anindya. Jadi coba let's look at the first slide that you show us. The first slide, applications of percents. Okay, di sini okay, you introduce application of percents, and then next slide. Yeah. Okay. Formula for application of percents. Percentage formula to calculate the percentage of number and simple interest. Now, starting from this slide, it seems a little bit more complicated for students to understand. Entah karena kamu penulisannya itu kayak kurang terstruktur dengan rapi ya. Kalau misalkan untuk siswa bisa memahami ini, kira-kira yang mau dibahas ini tuh semuanya atau simple interest aja di soal yang barusan?
Sebenarnya yang mau dibahas cuma simple interest, Mem, karena waktunya nggak cukup. Jadi ini yang di formula kita beberapa aja.
Kalau gitu, it's better to present only the formula for simple interest. Itu satu, kalau memang kamu hanya mau bahas simple interest. Tapi kalau menurut kamu dua yang di atas itu adalah prerequisite, students harus tahu ini, maka nanti bisa di-mention pada saat solving the problem. Gitu. Karena kalau Ibu tadi lihat ini di awal ada 3, sementara soalnya cuma 1, berarti mungkin sebaiknya kamu sebutin 1 aja, fokus nyelesain masalah simple interest. Gitu ya. And then next. Nah, find the number of years. Ini soalnya sebetulnya kalau Ibu bisa dibilang 1 tingkat lebih sulit daripada mencari simple interest-nya, benar nggak? Coba lanjut ke slide selanjutnya. Jadi pada saat kamu present solution ini, kedengarannya bukan seperti lagi membantu siswa memahami. You're describing, you're just mentioning the solution. Kamu hanya nyebutin solusinya. Jadi sebetulnya dari segi pedagogically, Ibu masih kurang merasa ini bisa membuat siswa paham. Karena soal yang kamu pilih ini sebetulnya kenapa nggak cari simple interest-nya dulu, lebih mudah. Instead of cari waktunya, benar nggak? Jadi dari segi tingkat kesulitan, untuk kamu ngasih examples ke siswa, I think it's a little bit difficult. 1. Terus kedua, pada saat kamu masukin angka tuh ke equation 324 equals 1200 times 0.06 times T. Ini tuh sebetulnya satuan dollarsnya harus dilepas. You have to remove the units. Ya, kalau kamu udah masukin ke equation. Gak ada lagi satuan-satuan ini nih. Jadi hanya angka-angka aja. Gitu ya.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any questions from group 9?
Ma'am, thank you.
Okay, thank you, group 9. Oh, sorry, group 8, yeah. Okay, now let's welcome group 9, Fariha and Denisa. Okay, I cannot hear anything from your video. Tidak ada suaranya. Yang lain kenapa diam aja kalau nggak ada suaranya? Nggak ada yang komentar nih.
Coba share sound. Pas share screen, di checklist dulu share soundnya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, class. My name is Fariha Zahra and my partner
Denisa Tauhida.
We are your new math teacher and we'll be teaching you for this semester. How are you today? I'm very great. Okay, first I want you all to turn on your camera. Secretary, is anyone absent today? Oh, great, no one absent today. Before starting the lesson, let's play first. Play begin. Play done. So today we are going to talk about Chapter 2.4, Solving Equation with Variable on both sides. Please open your book in page 103 in Guided Practice number 5. So the problem is 28 minus 0.3y is equal to 0.7y minus 12. Find the value of y. You can rewrite again the question. First step is subtract 0.7 from both sides to collect variable terms on one side. So we get the new equation. 28 minus y is from minus 0.3y minus 0.7y is equal to minus 12. Y is on the right is disappear because 0.7y minus 0.7y is 0. Second step, subtract 28 from both sides to under the addition. We get new equation again. 28 minus 28 is 0. So in here just minus y is equal to minus 40. Minus 40 is from minus 12 minus 28. And the third step is divided both sides by minus 1 to under the multiplication, and also that we can get positive result. Minus y divided by minus 1 is y, minus 40 divided by minus 1 is 40. So the answer is y is equal to 40. The value of y is 40. We can check the answer is right or wrong. We substitute 40 for y in the original equation. Because y is equal to 40, we can change y in here with 40. Second step, we got 28 minus 12 is on the left. Minus 12 is from minus 0.3 but is multiplied by 40. On the right is 28 minus 12. 28 from 0.7 is multiplied by 40. So we got 16 on the both sides because they has a same answer. So y is equal to 40 is correct. The next problem will be presented by my partner.
Okay, thank you. Next problem, we have minus 2 multiplied by x plus 3 is equal to 4x minus 3. The first step is we have to distribute minus 2 to the expression in the parentheses. So minus 2 multiplied by x plus minus 2 multiplied by 3 is equal to 4x minus 3. And now we got the new equations, minus 2x minus 6 is equal to 4x minus 3. Next step, to collect the variable terms on one side, subtract 4x from both sides. So we have new equations, minus 6x minus 6 is equal to minus 3. Next step, since 6 is subtracted from minus 6x, add 6 to both sides to undo the subtraction. And now we got a new equation, minus 6x is equal to 3. And the last step is, since x is multiplied by minus 6, divide both sides by minus 6 to undo the multiplication. So now we got the value of x is equal to minus 1 over 2. Now we have to check the solution. To check the solution, substitute minus 1 over 2 for x in the original equation. So we have to change x with minus 1 over 2. So then simplify the equation as in problem 1 until finally we got minus 5 on both sides. So that means x equal to minus 1 over 2 is correct. Well, that's enough explanation for our topic today. Do you have any questions or any problem? Maybe with how to distribute and combine like terms when simplifying an equation? Or do you want to see more examples? Oh, okay, that's enough. Thank you. If you feel that's enough, hopefully our lesson today will help you understand how to solve equations with variables on both sides. And don't forget to practice. The more you practice, the more confident you will be in solving this topic. So before we close our class, I want to remind you, don't forget to read our next topic. Since we started this class with a prayer, so let's close it with a prayer too. Pray begin. Finish. Thank you all and see you in the next class. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, thank you, Group 9. So I want to give some comments. I think from the presentations of the solutions, I like how you present the solution one by one. Jadi satu baris dimunculin gitu kan ya. So the students can focus on what is being discussed in the classroom. Jadi nggak langsung semuanya dimunculin gitu kan ya, tapi satu-satu kayak tadi tuh contoh yang baik. Kemudian untuk bahasanya tadi Ibu sempat dengar rewrite again. Kalau udah rewrite nggak perlu kata again lagi, karena re itu artinya udah again. Jadi kalau kamu bilang rewrite ya udah nggak usah tambahin again, kecuali kamu mau bilang write again gitu ya. Jadi itu seperti apa namanya, apa berlebihan lah ya. Kemudian tadi divided, harusnya divide aja verb 1 ya. Entah di slide yang awal-awal tadi ya. Fariha dan Denisanya mana ya? Siapa tadi? Fariha dan Denisanya mana? Fariha and Denisa, can you raise your hand supaya kelihatan nih wajahnya yang mana orangnya? Oke, Denisa di sini. Satu lagi mana? Satu lagi, Farihan. Oke, ya gitu ya. Jadi verb 1 yang dipakai ya. Tadi divided kelebihan. Kemudian pada saat kamu explain, coba geser sedikit dong videonya ke bagian solution yang tadi. Lagi terus. Nah ini juga satu contoh ya tadi. Mungkin sama seperti komen kelompok yang sebelumnya. Bukan yang ini, atau selanjutnya aja, selanjutnya. Nah itu divided kan, harusnya divide ya. Oke, lanjut lagi. Nah ini contoh ya. To collect the variable terms on one side, subtract 4x from both sides. Jadi sebetulnya kita mau eliminate 4x on the right side ya. Betul nggak? Jadi kamu mungkin lebih to the point aja. We want to eliminate for X on side. Kita mau hapus 4X-nya. Makanya kita subtract for X from both sides. Karena kita mau ilangin 4X-nya, bener nggak?
Iya, Ma'am.
Itu. Kemudian penulisannya min 4X-nya jangan di bawahnya mungkin ya. Karena nanti rancu sama yang pembagian. Di bawah kan kamu mau divide it ya. Divide both sides by -6. Ini mirip-mirip simbolnya. Kamu nulisnya sama-sama di bawah. Jadi penulisan juga perlu diperhatikan. Jangan sampai menimbulkan misconception as well. Oke, mungkin itu ya untuk group 9. Untuk group 10, I think I will postpone your presentation until tomorrow ya. Kalau jadi besok kita ketemu, jadi group 10 akan present besok, oke?
Okay, ma'am.
Alright, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.